yesterday, I needed to get new friends because my friends encouraged me to spend so much money on Amazon. So I think Sarah, I could definitely take notes from her. She also spoke on Boss Up on Saturday because she's that much of an expert on this topic. But I'm going to hand it to you because I don't want to waste any time. And the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just gonna find my document here real quick.
You're fine. And if you guys have questions, type them in the chat. And if we have time at the end, she'll take questions.
And I did encourage my team that if they hop on to say hi and that they're a visitor, if
Absolutely.
they join. So hopefully some of them will hop on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my name is Sarah, as Karen said, and I promoted to superstar director in April last year. So almost a year, which is really exciting. I totally wasn't expecting it to happen last year, but everything went crazy. So here we are. So business on a budget. Let me start this by saying, just because my budget's on a business budget, my business is on a budget doesn't mean that my husband thinks that I am. So so I have always been not great with money. And when I met my husband, I had a new-ish car. I bought a 2-year-old car when I graduated from college because I thought that I had money, which was not true. I had student loans. I didn't have money. So I just kind of ignored my student loans for a while, which was really stupid. And I also ignored the credit cards that I accrued while I was in college. And when my husband and I kind of started to get a little bit more serious, I had to really start digging into my personal finances. And it sucked. Like, it was horrible. And so I started listening to Dave Ramsey a lot. And we even watched, I think her name is Susie Orman. And I just started, like, when Cincy, we talk about like what you put into your mind and what you watch and what you think about. And that's why we want you to do trainings and why we want you to show up for things. It's because the more that you think about it, the more that it starts to become natural. And so we would listen to Dave Ramsey all the time, and it would encourage me to get my debts paid off. So eventually I settled with a credit card company. I sold my Jeep that I had bought, which I loved. It was Commander. They only made them for a few years, had a third row. It was like the perfect car. I was obsessed with it. But I sold it because I knew that I had to make a change. So fast forward. So I joined Cincy because I didn't have any money. I was working as a social worker. I was working at Lane Bryant. And then I started Cincy because my husband and I were getting married. And I just wanted to be able to pay for our plane tickets. Like, my parents were paying for part of our wedding. We were paying for part of our wedding. And I just wanted to have something to contribute because, things are expensive. So even a wedding on a budget is really expensive. So, so I started selling Cincy, and that helped a lot to pay off my debt. I was driving a really old Chrysler Cirrus. I don't know if you know what that is, but if you look it up on Google, it's really not a nice car. But it had a sunroof and leather seats. So I felt like I was winning, I guess. So that was a shot to my ego. So then I continued and I worked really hard to pay off my debts. I still have my student loans, I'm just going to be honest, but that is just something that is a work in progress. But I left my full-time job about 4.5 years ago, to pursue Scentsy as a full-time career. I was a director, and I knew that it was going to be tight, but I knew that we wanted to start a family, and I did not want to be put in a position where I had to choose between staying home with my son and having to go to work. So I said to my husband, just give me some time. Let me have some time to build this. I know that if I pour into my team and I focus on my customers and I have the time to do it, it will work. And I'll be promoting, and then I'll be making really good money. So I had my son. The month that I had my son, I had him in September. That was the second month of the Mediterranean cruise incentive. And then he was about 3 months old, and I earned it for 2. And that was the best incentive I ever did. And so I honestly think that was so much motivation for me. But now I'm going to get to the good stuff, right? The budget. So I never had a lot of extra money. I couldn't buy a bunch of extra products. I couldn't just buy whatever I wanted. I didn't have any stock. I didn't do a whole lot of fancy stuff. I just kind of was a simple, basic consultant who knew what I need. I knew what I needed to do to make what I wanted to make. And so that's what I did. So I'm going to kind of start at the basic level. So if you watched Boss Up, you'll remember some of these things. So as an essential consultant, obviously I didn't have any extra money. I was paying off my credit cards. I had 2 jobs, and I was paying for a wedding. So I used my kit to the fullest extent that I could. So if it was in my kit, I used it. And if it wasn't in my kit, then I would have to find something else. So there were things that I would order, like order forms and catalogs. But beyond that, and testers, but beyond that, I didn't purchase hardly anything, because I was very adamant that I wasn't selling Scentsy to just buy Scentsy. I wasn't a Scentsy customer before I purchased, and before I joined. I had 1 warmer. I had only ever had 1 bar of Scentsy wax until I bought Caramel Pear Crisp. And then I bought that bar, and then I was like, oh, I think I want to join, because maybe this can help us with our wedding. So I didn't use Scentsy until then, so I wasn't obsessed. I didn't have all the things. We also didn't have all of the things that we have now, so it's even more important, I feel like, to utilize the resources that you have, especially because Scentsy offers us so much digitally that we didn't have when I joined. And so you don't even really have to buy catalogs. If you don't want to buy a catalog, you don't really have to. You can just send a text to someone with your website. The one thing that I do say is that if your budget allows the $10 website, you need to do that, because it will pay off, especially now when people are at home and they don't move, or they don't leave their houses. You can send them a catalog, but honestly, they can just get on your website and look at it, and they can shop from your catalog on your website. If you didn't know that, that's totally a thing. So you just click shop now, and there it is. So that would be, if you're just starting and you're not really sure what you need, that would be my biggest tip. And if you're not going to have basket parties or home parties right now, then other than to smell the wax, I wouldn't really even invest in that if you don't have the money to. So that's as an essential consultant. But as a certified consultant, it's basically the same thing. The only difference is that if Amy is a really big, so Sell with Amy is an app that helps us follow up with our customers. There's lots of things that Amy can do. There's lots of trainings on Amy. They do trainings in their Facebook group or in their on their Facebook page, like every week, I think. And so it's a really great resource to use, especially if you are in the beginnings, because you don't have a successful system or a failed system. So you're really starting from the beginning. So using that as a resource is a really great opportunity to see if it will help you remember and stay on top of following up with your customers. The thing about apps, and this is something that I really want to make sure that everyone knows, is that you do not always have to pay the full price option of a monthly subscription. So for instance, the Over app, which is an editing app that I use to make graphic design things. I'm not a graphic designer. I find what other people use and I just try to make it my own, or I'll recreate something. But I use Over often. And so I have a subscription to Over. I pay $50 a year for that subscription, which $50 a year for a subscription to an app is like nothing. And so I think that the price of Over for a year now is $80, but I've grandfathered into that process. But I think it's $10 to $12 a month. And so if you do the yearly package, then you get a savings of like, I don't know, 20 to $50. So it's really beneficial that you make sure that when you go into your subscriptions on your phone, that you look at the options. That is going to save you a ton of money. Let me see. Make sure to say, I have $10 to use this app right now. Maybe I don't have $50 to sign up, but I do have the $10. Go ahead and use it with the $10 and then go back later when you do have the $50. So times like when you get a really great check, or maybe your average sales is $500 a month, but you sold 2,000 this month, and so your check is a little bit more. Maybe find that extra money then and go back and invest it so that you're not continuing to pay more than you should be. Customer appreciation on a budget, that one is really big because well, I'm just gonna be really honest. We are exposed to so many really creative people who I think their love language is making things pretty. I don't think that's an actual love language, but maybe it should be, or since you should have their own love languages, because I think that is definitely something that people are gifted in. And they want to do it. That's how they show their customers that they love them. And so what I want you to know, and if you don't take anything else out of this training, I want you to take this. It's that you don't have to be what everybody else is. Your customers do not know what every other consultant is doing, unless they follow all the Scentsy consultants on Instagram. And let's be real, not all of them are realistic in what they can do. And so some consultants make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we've all seen the income disclosure. Some consultants make thousands and some consultants make hundreds of thousands. And last year there was a consultant that made like $1.2 million. And so we're all in different places and we all can do different things. But here's the thing. You never want it to be too much. Like, you are not trying to buy your customers, but you are trying to show them appreciation. And I would say most customers aren't asking you to give them amazing things all the time. That's a perk, and you want to make sure that it's something you can do. So let's just say that well, we'll just use an example of having a baby because that's a joyful thing to use. There are lots of things that can happen in our lives, but having a baby is a happy thing. And so let's just say that after you have the baby, you want to spend as much time as possible loving and caring and enjoying that baby. If you are in a cycle of doing so much, it's going to be really hard for you to take that step away. So what I like to tell people is that I joined Scentsy to give my family more of me, not less of me. I joined Scentsy because I didn't want a full-time job that I was away. And so for me, I would rather take that time to invest in my family because that's what matters. So I want my customers to know that if I just had a baby, they might get a thank you card and it might say thank you and it might have a smelly sticker on it. But that's because my customers should know that my life and my family come before anything. And I think that most people can appreciate that, right? We don't ever want to set our customers up to think that they are more important than our family. And so that was a little bit of a tangent that I just went on. Heather Ray and I were just talking about that. So I want to make sure that you guys know that you don't have to be doing all of these things that are unnecessary. I think that it's really great to do that. And I think that it's a beautiful thing when you can give your customers something amazing. I upgraded since I promoted and started to process and think and work through just, I don't know. I had a baby 3.5 years ago, and it's taken me a very long time to like figure out how to be a mom and figure out how to have a whole house and a business and all the things. It took a while. And so now that I am actually feeling like, okay, I can do this, I've started doing a little bit more. And what I'm finding is that it's not breaking the bank the way that I thought it was. So while you can do, all the big stuff, or you can do a card, you can do some simple things. You can do a coupon. So here's what I do. I buy these little scratch off stickers. Christina Stainbrook, she's my sponsor. She made these cards and she shared them with everyone, and they are super cute and they're just little coupons. I get these printed at Office Depot and I think it's like $20. I just have them printed like a business card, and it's like $20 to print them, and then the stickers are like $8. And then usually when people order, I'll stick that in with their order. And I'm gonna be real honest, guys, they don't even remember that they have these. Like they don't, that's how little that they really, like they honestly, like I sometimes think that customers think that like they are I know that they think this, that they're a bother to me. And I don't know why they think that, because it's literally my job to like take care of them and make sure that they're getting what they need. But I maybe it's because I set the precedence that this is my job, this isn't my life, you know. So these are really good for me. It just shows my appreciation. So if they use them, great. If they lose them, usually if they say, I don't know where they went, or I left them at home, or I can't remember, I'll just say, okay, well, I'll just take $5 off of your order. So I don't require them to send me photos of these. Like, I don't make them do any of that stuff, because that's not what is important. I think what's important is that they just feel appreciated. That's why that's why just sending a simple thank you card is so important. So I'm just going to read the chat real quick, because I think there's some good things over there. You're welcome, Kelly. So thank you for putting this into perspective. Billy said, this is huge. If I do too much, it is intimidating to potential joins. Exactly. And Karen said, then your customers tell you they don't want to join because they can't do what you do. So I agree. Thank you, Tanya. I agree that, or Tanya, sorry, that simplifying is important, and that we want them to know that it is duplicable, that they can do what we do. And that's the thing, like our job is like super simple. It doesn't have to be over the top crazy, and we don't have to spend a ton of money. So let me get back. So these are my new, sometimes I send this as a thank you. Sometimes I send a card with a scent circle. Sometimes I send a card with some samples. The $5 off thank you type thing on a budget, if you're not making a whole lot, then don't do it. It's okay if you don't do it. Like, these are only something I started when I had enough money. So I didn't give my customers anything for a long time. And then when I would do personal specials, it was so hard, because we can't publicize it. Like, you can't put it on Facebook, you can't put it out there unless you personally message all those people. And that was just too much for me. I didn't want to spend my time doing that, because that wasn't worth it for me. So but what I found to be really simple that I could do was send a scent circle. So what I do is I use my half offs, or I use my credits, and I will buy scent circles. So I might buy I don't know, 18 scent circles at a time. And then that way next month, like, I can just, I'm not like a super seller. Like, I don't have like the highest PRV ever. So for me, doing that is totally okay. And it's not going to cost me a ton of money. I just buy, so when I do buy things on Amazon, I want to make sure that they're going to last me. So I'll buy things in bulk, but I'll find the best price. So I bought these craft envelopes, and that are like regular envelope size, but they're craft. So they don't look like a basic, like, little envelope that you get from like your water company. But I just put a sticker on it or something, and you don't have to go, like, I love Purple Carrot Designs, but you don't have to go to Purple Carrot Design and buy her stickers. You can go to Walmart or to the Dollar Tree or wherever you want to buy stickers. What matters is that you just make it look fun. So that's the thing. Like, you don't have to spend a ton of money on little things like that. I do that now, but that's only because I can afford to do that now. So you said your first party, is that what you're saying, Kelly? So I took this little design from someone who made it. I just made it into mine. I printed at home. I use HP Instant Ink because they just send me my ink whenever I'm running low. And that's really beneficial to me because I don't have to think about it. So I think we were paying like $3, and then I started sending thank you mail, like bigger thank you mail, and so now we pay $5 a month for that. So all these little things, they add up.
You made me
So
laugh.
was that you, Karen, or no? Okay. So all these little things, they add up. So you just kind of have to do what you need to do. So if the most important thing is that you're just very intentional. So if you're going to print things at Office Max, you need to make sure that what you're printing is something that you're going to use for a while. And you want to make sure that it's cost effective. So like on Vistaprint, like if you print something, if you get postcards printed on Vistaprint, you know, when you get more, it's like way less expensive. So if you know that you're going to use something for a while, get the higher package, because it's going to cost you a lot less if you're able to do that. I change things sometimes, so I don't tend to do that, but I also get what I need and I use it. So the last time I bought business cards, both of these are full of business cards, because last time I bought business cards, I just bought a ton of them. And now I feel like business cards are obsolete. Like I don't really need them. So what I have is $20. You can get one for $13. I have this little thing called a popple. And if you want a cost-effective business card, this is it. Where you don't have to buy business cards anymore. You can, but you don't have to. This is a popple, and what happens is when you meet somebody, they just like tap their phone against it, and it pulls up your well, here, I'll just show you. It pulls up your home screen on your popple. So it shows like this. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see because of the lighting. Oh, there we go. And then it takes them to all your things. So if I wanted them to link to my Instagram, it just will take them to my Instagram, and they can see all the things that I post. And so that's really cool. And so where someone might not want to text me, they might want to follow me on Instagram. And so I met a girl at TJ Maxx last week because I was talking to her about my job, and I had her do my little popple, and she put her phone in her pocket like when I was leaving, and I thought, I'm not going to hear from her. And then I had a new Instagram follower. So I have that connection now where I can follow up with her. I can connect with her through that. And I don't have to have a business card, because I tend to like go like digging through my purse because I can never find anything. This just sticks to my phone just like a pop socket. It's POPL. If you look it up on Instagram or on Facebook, that you can get to their website, but they're literally like, there are some on sale right now for $13. They're amazing. I mean, I'm the biggest advocate for Popple. I think it's great. I found it right before Christmas, and I sent one to Christina as a gift. Okay, I feel like I'm going off the rails. Sorry, Karen, if I'm going too long, you just let me know.
I'll cut you off. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, cut me off.
Yeah,
Okay, so back to customer appreciation. When you're packaging orders, also, I buy the $1 bags through the Cincy Success. There's a video on YouTube. It's been forever since I watched it, but the lady takes those bags, she opens them up, she cuts off from where the handle is. She cuts off below there. She takes tissue paper, puts it underneath the product, puts the product in, then she pulls all the things together and she spins it around and she ties it with a really pretty ribbon. So it's got tissue paper on the inside, and then ribbon on the outside, and it looks so cute. And so I was doing that for a very long time because you can get tissue paper at the Dollar Tree. You can get tissue paper at the Bullseye dollar spot in Target. You can get tissue paper literally anywhere. Nashville Wraps is another website, but they're a little bit more on the hefty side of expenses. So they're not super budget friendly, but you do get a ton and they're huge pieces. So you can only use one piece versus 2 or 3. And then also after Easter, after Christmas, I go and I buy the paper shreds for like 40 cents per bag. Like I saw some today at Target that were $3. Some of them were $1, but the bigger bags were $3. So once Easter is over and nobody's filling baskets anymore, they want to get rid of that. And so I'll go like the day after Easter and just buy that stuff. So it's super cheap, and it's not like you don't have to just use it in the spring. Yeah, pastels are like springy colors, but you can use them in the summer. Do not throw away your paper crinkles that come in your whiff box, because that purple paper is perfect to throw in your clear bags. I literally will throw some crinkle paper into my clear bags, tie it up with a ribbon, or not even tie it with a ribbon. I just do whatever the heck I feel that day. And sometimes it matches like St. Patrick's Day, and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on when it is and how I'm feeling and how busy I am at the time. Guys, like I said, I am so simple. Heather, my mom, saves all the tissue paper all the time. On Christmas, I'm not kidding you, she was folding up tissue paper as we were opening presents. And I was like, this is too much. And I think you're getting old now. And so, but I mean, it saves her money. So those are a few things. If you're a lead consultant, remember that as a lead consultant, you are now investing in a team, not just customers. Your team is really valuable to you. It's really important that we show them that we appreciate them. While we don't run their businesses and they are paid just like we are, it's really important that they feel valued. That is just what it is. And so showing them value sometimes means sending them a card. Sometimes it means that we spend a little extra and make postcards to send to top sales or recruiters, or just hey, like you sold $200 last month. That's amazing. So give yourself a pat on the back. And that doesn't have to come in the form of a postcard. It can come in the form of an email. I can tell you how many of my team members love getting emails from me. It just doesn't get old. It makes them feel really good about themselves. It makes them feel like they're doing something, like they're seen and they're heard, and they have a place and they're valued. And that is what I want, because every single person has value on this planet. And so while I can't show 900 people on a whole great scale that they're valued, I can show some that they're valued. And so that means personalization. It means becoming Facebook friends with them, commenting on their wall, maybe posting on their wall when you see that they've done something really amazing. Yeah, emails are incredible and they're simple, and I just send them from the workstation. I think that it's something that you can't get that back. Like you can't, that time that you invest in your new team members, it feels like nothing to you, but it's so big to them. And so that's why you really have to take the time to invest in it. So you just go to your reports, you click on whoever you want to send an email to, then you click the email button in your workstation, and it pulls all those people into an email to send. It's not gonna like group email them. It'll just come from you. So they're not gonna see who else you sent the email to. And then what I'll do to make it a little bit more fun is I'll add an image. I'll just copy and paste an image and something motivational or inspiring that I've seen, or that I'm thinking about personally. And then I'll highlight things like, great job. And I'll highlight it in bright pink with white letters so that it pops. And those are things that you can do completely free. And they mean the world. I feel like I'm so off track, but I have so many things that I want to say, but I've gone through a lot. Host your own parties to get products to share, for samples, and to experience. The current incentive is offering free business tools if you earn the incentive. So that is one really amazing way to get it. You can also network with consultants who live close to you. So let's say that Heather and I live 10 minutes away from each other. If Heather and I wanted to split the warmer of the month, I could buy it this month, she could buy it next month, and we go back and forth, then we're both getting equal amounts of PRV. We're splitting the bars so that we're equally getting the same amount. It's a little bit different when you get the bricks, but it doesn't have to be, because if you're making samples out of it, it's just going to get melted anyways. So, or warmed, it's not going to be anything super different, but that's also another budget friendly way to do something. You could do that with 3 or 4 people if you wanted to. Everything that I've said is in my notes. I feel like I've just kind of gone through, but just let me remind you again. I'm going to read what I wrote about directors and above, and then I'm almost done. Don't get caught in the cycle of feeling like you need to do more. Your frontline and team get paid to do their job. You're not their boss, and you are not their mom. They are rewarded by Cincy generously for the work that they put into their business. If you want to offer additional love through gifts, be sure that it's something that you can continue to do. If you start to send $10 gift cards when they sell $200, you're going to be broke when your team is 1,000 people, because you're not going to be able to do it. And you're going to stop, and then you're going to have people go, well, where's my gift card? And you don't want that. Trust me, we hear it in the director page or in the SSD group that people start to become unappreciative. And I don't think it's unappreciative. I just think that they get used to it and it helps and it motivates them, but you got to find other ways to do it. And then the next thing that I want to say is that before you promote to SSD, I want you to really think about the plan that you want to have. So you're going to feel an immense amount of pressure, and that pressure is going to come from yourself and from the access that you now have to all the amazing people. And that is not on anyone else but you. You have to stay true to who you are and what you know and what you believe to be good. You did not get to director, star director, superstar director by being everyone else. So be yourself and do what you know you can do, because having a budget is really important. One more thing, and then I promise I'm done. Business on a budget, it looks different for me now. So here's what I did. This is so embarrassing. I've never had a business bank account ever. I just kind of do things. And now that I am spending more money, it's really important that I define where that money comes from and what's mine and what belongs to my business. So my husband and I, to alleviate stress and fights in our relationship, have separate accounts for our own spending money. So we have an account where we pay all of our bills, and then we each get our own amount of money. And so I contribute a certain percentage to our joint money. And then I get a certain percentage that I can then put back into my business for trips, for thank yous, for products, for all of that. So what I just did was, and here's another tip for what you can do to get a little money too. So I got what's called a Chime bank account through an app. And right now they're offering like you get like $75 if you join like through your friend. And then so I just like signed up and I had my husband sign up. And so I got $75 for signing up. And all I had to do was transfer $200 from my Cincy account into my Chime account. And it like basically it looks like a direct deposit. So that's all you need to do. So it's really cool because I made that money. So what I did is I'm taking the Chime account and I'm making it into my business account. So I have full access on my phone. I can deposit checks there too. And so I'm going to connect it and link it with my Venmo and my PayPal, and everything that I do is going to be linked through that account. And then I also, the account that I had my husband sign up under is going to be our tax account. So I'm going to send a percentage of my pay. I last year was kind of a shock for me because I've never made that much money. So hashtag income disclosure, hashtag results may vary. So I wanted to open a second account so that way that money goes there and neither of us touch it. So that's just a little tip of something that I've just now started doing that I wish I would have started doing a long time ago. And I actually feel a lot more accountability now. Like when I got paid today, I transferred all of that money to where it needed to be. And now I feel broke, but that's a good thing because I need to feel that way so that I don't spend the money. I have the money, it's just in different places where I'm not supposed to use it. Anyways, I hope that was beneficial. I hope that helped. And yeah, so don't join Chime unless you have a referral code. So I don't want to like plug my referral code or anything.
Hold on, let me stop the recording.